We asked him to turn the heat up. Is that what you know about the heat? Alright, I'm just kidding, guys. Alright, everybody sit down real quick. Find your seats, find your seats. If you are standing up, I'm still talking to you. Please find your seats. And now after asking you to find your seats, I'm going to ask you to stand up. Everyone stand up real quick. Everyone stand up. Yeah, I know we all got up early for the super workout. You can make sure our brains are ready. So everyone put their hands in the air. Turn to your left. Put your hands on the person, the shoulder of the person in front of you. Give them a little back rub. Show them some love. There we go. Show them some love for a minute. Oh, that feels good. Yes. This is a new form of networking. All right, come back to the front. Hands in the air. Now let's show some love to the person on the other side. There we go. There we go. Oh, yeah. My dad always told me that the brain can capture what the butt can endure. So we're trying to give you guys some more mileage for this workshop here. All right, sit down. Everyone sit down. All right. Okay.
I'm working right.
Man, isn't it amazing what a little shoulder rub will do? It's kind of invigorating, isn't it? Now, how many of you are like, oh, don't touch me, I'm gross and sweaty? Yeah, that's right. All right. So, all of us in this room want to find phenomenally performing coaches for our team, right? Yeah. Okay, 2 people want to find good coaches. All the rest of you aren't ready to see them. Yeah. We all do. But here's the thing, in my experience working with coaches, so much of getting those high-performing coaches starts with us. Okay? It starts with our ability to believe it. John Maxwell, in his book, 21-Year Freedom Laws of Leadership, states one of the laws is called the law of the live, which is an organization or team's ability to grow is commensurate with the leader's ability to lead them there, right? So if your leadership level's here, kind of bump up against that. The more that you grow yourself, the more you're able to lead bigger and bigger organizations and create higher and higher performing coaches. And we are very, very fortunate to have 2 people who know a heck of a lot about creating high performance coaches. These are coaches that need no introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway. See that? We're going to get through this together. But 2 coaches who need no introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay? Please help me bring to the stage with a humongous round of applause. Remember, you just got a back rub, so you're feeling good. Scottie Hobbs and Scottie Almonte. Who walked up on the stage. Okay, yes, I love you all. Okay, all right, so Scottie, let's talk about Scottie. Scottie is a 7-star diamond coach. He is a 2014 Elite Coach and Elite 10. He's achieved Elite Coach status 3 times. It's no joke right there. He's also a member of the Leader Club. So he's helped a lot of people be successful. So
I didn't know who he was.
Right? He's a teacher. Now, Saudi, she's a 13-star diamond coach.
He introduced me. I noticed he had a
She has her own set of groupies. She's a member of the 2015 Coach Advisory Board, the CAP, and the National Latino Leadership Council. She's achieved Elite Coach 2 times and is also a Success Club 10 legend. So these guys are phenomenal. You guys are in great hands, and I'll leave it to you guys.
Awesome. So before we start, we heard that they took a selfie, so we want to take one and bring thanks a little bit. So everybody put your hands up, like you're excited to be here, right? Okay, awesome. So we're super excited about our topic today. It's obviously creating high-performance coaches. I feel extremely blessed to be here with Saudi. She had some amazing achievements in her career as a coach. I'm excited to learn from her as well, and for you guys to learn from her. I feel blessed to be here. I'm excited you guys are here willing to learn, and you not have to listen to music, which I would like to do as well. But you're here because you want to become a better, high-performing coach yourself, but also to teach others to do that. So with that being said, I'm going to let Saudi introduce herself a little bit.
Well, as you guys heard my entourage, I'm a Latina boss from New York City. All Spanish people are really loud and rowdy. So I guess I'll do that up here on stage. It's kind of cool. I'm really humbled to be up here with this man. I look up to him so much. him and I started this business around the same time. And when I was asked to speak with him, I was starstruck because I followed Scottie throughout his whole entire career, and I've been very successful because of it. And we were talking a little bit before coming here, and I said, Scottie, I have to say what you always said to me when we first started, preparing for this. And he said, Scottie, I'll always be a baby coach. And I love that. And I want you guys to remember that. Whenever you remember Scottie and Sally, I want you to remember that you will always be a baby coach. Today, I'm a baby coach because I'm learning from him and I'm learning from all of you.
Excellent. And I still feel like a brand new coach. We'll teach you guys a little bit about that today because we're still doing the same thing today, even though it's been a little over 4 years with Saudi. We're still doing the same thing we did when we first started. And we'll get into those. But I have a question for you guys as you look at the slide. How many of you guys would like to have more quality coaches on your team and organization? Raise your hand if you'd like more. Excellent. How many of you know that you can become a better quality coach yourself? Raise your hand. Okay, I know that's the truth for me as well. So what I'm going to talk about today is we're going to start with developing a mindset, creating a culture, and setting the bar high. And to kind of set the tone for that, I'm going to take you guys back to a date, and I want you guys, as I'm telling this story, I want you guys to relate to maybe an instant in your life where you felt very similar to this. I think back to April 11th, 2011. I remember getting up at like 4:30 in the morning, grabbing my mail from the mailbox. I used to always do that, all the junk mail and the bills. And I'd go to work a little bit early. I'd sit down. I'm an introvert, so I need a little alone time before everything starts happening. So I would take the junk mail and throw it away and grab my bills and set it in my lunchbox so when I got home I could take care of that. Well, that particular day happened to be 18 days after the birth of my third daughter. And so 18 days after looking at my bills, you guys know what happens a few weeks after you have a baby. All those doctor bills, anesthesiologist, the doctor bill, the hospital bill, there's a ton of them. So I'm looking at these bills, and I'm overwhelmed in that moment. Like it feels like a weight is on top of me. For a couple of reasons. I worked every day from 10 to 12 hours a day, and my wife worked nights. Obviously, she's home with a brand new baby on a little maternity leave, so we don't have her income. And I want to let you guys know exactly how it was at that point. I made at my job $910 every 2 weeks after tax, insurance, 401k, which is $1,820, and our mortgage payment was $1,540 something dollars. So if you guys do the math, that's scary. The doctor bills, how to pay everything. So to take back during this time while I'm sitting there thinking about that, I had done P90X for an entire year at this point. And I had a conversation with my coach, Lindsay Matway, about becoming a coach, and I told her no multiple times. She followed up with me. Just told her it wasn't for me. I'm going to help people. People are asking me about it. I'll tell them about it. That's exciting, but I'm not going to do it. But in reality, I was afraid of failing at something else. I already worked so many hours. My wife worked. I didn't want to put effort into something and be a failure at something because I failed at so many things. I dropped out of college. I'm obviously not a pro baseball player. So a lot of things I failed at that I thought I would be. So, but the thing is, this morning, on April 11th, 2011, my fear of knowing how to take care of my family became greater than my fear of failing as a coach, because I didn't know what to do. So that's the day I signed up as a coach, April 11th, 2011. And I remember getting on a GSR call with my coach, and so you guys know I had to do that at my neighbor's house. I had an old flip phone. We didn't have the internet at home. I got $40 by selling some Xboxes and Wii's on Craigslist. And I went to my neighbor's house, I used his computer, I did the Coach Training Academy, and I did the GSR with Lindsay, and I said, hey, I need to make $10,000. She's like, what's your why? Why are you going to do this? So I need to make $10,000 with Beachbody so that I can bring my wife home from work. So she doesn't have to work anymore. Because I know that I'm supposed to be, we're supposed to be a family together at night. And she told me one thing that stuck with me forever that helped develop the culture of our team and my mindset. She said, I can't promise you $10,000, but I promise that your income will be a direct reflection of the number of lives that you change. So from that day, I decided I would help everybody no matter what. I would give everything I learned to everybody and just help no matter what. And so I said, okay, that's good, but give me some numbers. How many people am I supposed to help? Give me an idea so she doesn't have to work by 1 year, she doesn't have to work anymore. And all she said after that statement was, You need to hit Success Club 10 every single month. So that's all I knew was possible. I didn't know there was any other standard. I knew it was Success Club 10 brings your wife home. So that's how I got started. And I only had 220 friends on Facebook, super introverted. So that's how I got started. That's the mindset I had. That's the bar that got set for me personally. And that's the bar that I set for my team and my coaches. So the first thing I want you guys to know is this business starts with you. If you want to create high-performing coaches, you've got to become one yourself. You got to focus on adding value to and helping other people. Help everybody no matter what. Even if they get it from your neighbor or they get it somewhere else, help them get results no matter what. Because I had results, without being a Team Beachbody coach, without buying a challenge pack before. And Lindsay supported me for that year, even though I never bought one thing from her. You've got to believe that you can achieve at a higher level. And for me, being in the Millionaire Club or the top 10, that was not my big dream. A big dream for me was $10,000 by helping people with P90X. So your dream can continually expand, but start with something big, something that's a big dream to you, and as you surround yourself with great coaches, that dream will expand. Trust that you're capable of doing it. I know a lot of you guys, including myself, didn't believe we had the potential and ability to impact people on a greater level because that's not what we did before. So believe that you have all the tools, and Scottie and I will help give you the tools that you can give to these coaches. So that will give you the trust that you have what it takes to help somebody else, to train somebody else. Inspire your coaches to believe in themselves and that anything's possible. That's what my coach did for me. Relate to everybody through personal development. I do 52 books a year, and I can tell you the only way that I can help any of my coaches and challengers, and it seems that every time that I get the opportunity to help a coach, all I do is refer to something I learned in a book like a week before, or 2 weeks before, or a month before. So the personal development will help you relate to them and help them grow. And then most importantly, lead by example. Like Scottie said, we're brand new coaches. We feel like brand new coaches because we're doing the same thing. We're running challenge groups every single month. My top priority is still my personal development, hitting Success Club 10, and then plugging our coaches into the training tools that we're going to give to you guys today. So with that, I'm going to send it over to Scottie.
Thank you. I couldn't help to remember my second summit when I stood in the arena, probably my whole team was the only team left there, listening to Scottie share his story. His first time on stage, I think, right? Sharing his story. And what he shared today is something that I thought about every time I was up till 2, 3 in the morning working my business, working a full-time job. And that was that he had to sell things on eBay to be able to grow his business. And then when I used to try to complain, I used to think about he had to go to somebody's neighbor, to his neighbor, and I have an internet, I have Wi-Fi. I'm blessed. So think about the things that are going to motivate you when you're not so motivated. So what do you want your team culture to be? This is very important, and this is probably one of the best lessons you're going to learn today, because this is part of attraction marketing. What do you want your coaches to be doing, and who do you want on your team? This is so important, and this is how you're going to build your network. Because once you have this, and once you have that instilled in your mind, it's going to come out through your posts. It's going to come out through the way you walk, through the way you dress, through the way you speak. People don't do what you say, they do what you do. I don't know if it was Cheryl who said to one of my coaches one time, and I use it all the time, you need to put the oxygen mask on first before you can give it to anybody else, right? So you gotta make sure that all these things are aligned and that you're growing your business, and then you go and you help your team. So this is my favorite slide, so that's what I wanna say on it for a little bit. The speed of the leader is the speed of the pack. What do you want to attract? Creating high-performance coaches starts with you. I totally believe in the law of attraction. I read the book, The Secret. My husband makes fun of me because of it, because we did find a check in the garbage like the next day. But I believe in this so much because, like today, I was super nervous, but I did not feed that stuff to myself. When my husband asked me if I was nervous, I said, "Oh no, I got this." I did not got this. But it's what you feed yourself, and that's why I'm here, and I'm excited about presenting to you guys. I think you're next one.
Yes. Thank you, and I do not got this as well. I was nervous as well. I remember seeing back, I told her, hey, remember how good it feels when you finish like a workout, or you finish presenting at a Super Saturday. Envision that right now, because that's how you feel after. Yes. So now think about that as you're talking to somebody about inviting them and talking to your coaches as well. So what we want to talk about next is setting the bar high. So as you guys saw when Lindsay started me, with my getting started right at the call I did in my neighbor's house, she set the bar high. She set high expectations up front. She told me hit Success Club 10. And as a brand new coach, I didn't know that there was Success Club 5. Or that Success Club 1 or 2 was acceptable if you want to build a business. Success Club 10 was it. So make sure that for yourself, but also for your coaches, you're setting the bar high. Remind them that they are their own boss. And you guys can write this down if you want. And my coaches have heard this. They're on the front row here somewhere. I saw them. It's still bright, can't see. What I talk to them about when we're on the Zoom calls and when we get them started is I ask them a question. Here's the exact question I ask them. I say, hey, did you sign up as a Team Beachbody coach because you want another boss? And did you guys sign up with Beachbody because you wanted to have another boss? No. And Gabby might kill me for this, but we have a boss at home and our spouse. We got a boss at our job. So you don't need another boss, right? So when they say no, and like 99% of them say no, I don't want another boss, I say, hey, great, because I don't want to babysit you as a coach. That's not why I became a coach. I didn't become a coach to be a babysitter. I became a coach to build a relationship with you, to inspire you, to be an example to you, that if you follow in my footsteps, you can achieve the success that you want, the goals that you want. So that's the standard I set in our beginning Zoom calls when we get on the phone. So if you say that, not if, when you say that to your coaches or something similar to that, it's important that you lead by example. So if you say that to them, it's important that you are there doing those steps that they follow. And a thing that I do to analyze myself is every day at the end of the night, I plan my next day, plan out my schedule, plan out my time. And when I do that, I ask myself, if my coaches did exactly what I did today, would they be successful? Would their business move forward? Would they make an impact on somebody? So make sure you're always leading by example. And then consistency is the secret sauce. I remember coaches when I came to Summit my first time and Super Saturdays, National Wake Up Calls, saying, be here a year from now. And it wasn't be here a year from now having not done anything. It was be here a year from now actively engaged in the 3 vital behaviors. So it's important that you stay consistent. And think of it as this is a real business. This is a real business that you guys have. So think of it, if you have to envision that you have a store, let's say if you picture the main street in your hometown, picture you love that place and you go there all the time and you know the set hours, whether it's like 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or whatever it is, or your favorite restaurant. Imagine going there one day, you're just craving it. You need it, you don't need it, but you're there, and then the lights are off and the door's shut. You lose trust in that company or that product. So think of your business like that. That's why consistency is so important. And the next thing, it's important that you set that bar high like Lindsay did for me on Success Club. It's a must for you, and it's a must for your coaches. And we'll briefly mention the leadership ladder, but the leadership ladder and becoming an elite coach all involves you hitting Success Club yourself and building a business based on you hitting Success Club and your coaches duplicating that activity. And then, of course, it's so important to set your priorities, to have your vital behaviors come first. And you'll hear it called by many of your coaches, maybe called a power hour. It's important that you set, because it is a business, you set business hours. You set your schedule and then have a to-do list. I, for example, I share with all my coaches a 10 things you do every day. I made a YouTube video about it. But it's something that I do every day, even today, just like I did 4 years ago. I do those 10 things every single day. And the first 3 things on that list are obviously the 3 vital behaviors. I do my personal development first, then I do my workout, and then I make my new invites, and then I go on to do the rest of my list. So it's important that you set that bar high so that you raise the standard for yourself and your team. And I got some cool stats for you. Coaches who hit Success Club 5 all 12 months of 2014 earned 23 times more money than those who hit it inconsistently or not at all. So I want to hear you just scream and raise your hand if you would like yourself or your coaches to earn 23 times more money. And remember, the income will come as a direct reflection of the lives that you change. So lives are being changed by hitting Success Club because you're starting 3 people on a Beachbody challenge. So with that being said, I'm going to pass it back over to you, Scottie.
Awesome. Just a little recap. I grew my business since I started preparing for this presentation with Scottie, just by telling the people that I was getting, the coaches that I was getting started right, asking them that simple question. Did you become a coach to have another boss? Write that one down, it works. Okay, so how many of you send out welcome emails to your new coaches? All right, if you don't, this may be a great time to do that. And you don't have to overthink this part of the business, guys. You know, make this the part of your business where you kind of get to know your coach. I kind of relate it to dating. You know, this is the part where, you know how before you go on a first date, you have a few phone calls, and you talk a little bit on the internet or whatever. At least that's how I met my husband, on the internet. So, we had a few conversations before that, and he sold himself to me, and I sold myself to him. That is your job as a coach. Your new coaches need to feel some kind of vibe. They need to feel that you matter to them. And they're just an email that you're sending out, and you're not following up, and you're not sharing a little bit about yourself and giving them a story to inspire them so that you can break down those barriers and get them to get on the phone with you and get them to reply. It's just not going to happen. You can't, it's almost just as important as closing the deal when you're sending that challenge back. You can't over-rush it. So when I get my coaches started right, I send them this welcome email. I share a little bit about myself. I schedule a phone call. It doesn't always go that smoothly. Does it go smooth for you, Scottie? Do you always get a response? I get like 150 that I send. But I've learned to be okay with that and to understand that it's really not that they don't want to respond, it's that we overkill. You know, we send a lot of information. The information should be sent, yes, but the follow-up is where you're going to start the communication. That is where they're going to go back and they're going to say, well, maybe I should look at this email. Most people don't read through the whole thing. I'm sorry, it's just the way people are. I'm one of those people. I confess. If I get an email with more than 3 lines, I don't read it. Sorry, Karen. So yeah, go back and start doing this again. I guarantee that you're going to get some amazing results. This is where that first part of dating begins in your business. So now you've sold yourself, you've probably got an appointment with them. Now you get on a Zoom call, and it's called the Getting Started Right. You get them started right with this GSR. One of the things I'm learning, and I'm kind of learning that now, because before I would just pick like a random room in my house to do these calls, but Julie Boris has the most amazing office with these bright colors, and she wears these funky eyeglasses, and I said, you know, if I were to get on the phone with her for the first time, I would want to pursue this business just because of the way she made me feel with the color of her walls, her cute little pens, and all her stuff on her desk. I'm not saying to go back and, you know, redo your room, but make sure that whatever you want your coach to feel, if it's the color of your shirt, if it's the way your hair looks, if it's your lipstick, you know, I get compliments on my pink lipstick all the time. You know, do that and let who you are resonate with that person so that they can continue to break the barriers. Because what's happening is that we have a belief system and we're communicating in a way with our coaches that we think that they understand and believe what we believe. It's like we forget where we came from and how many seminars we went to and how many people we were inspired by. Like I had Scottie Hobbs inspire me my first year of coaching. My new coach doesn't have that. So I have to make sure that I'm using the right words and I'm scheduling the right things. So getting them started right, starting the communication, sending them the email, assigning small tasks prior to the call is very important, and tell them what they can expect. You know, there's always these little things that you'll figure out along the way that you can say that are personal to you that are going to make that person tick, run, and go.
Awesome, thank you. It only took you a couple phone calls. It took me like a month every day of follow-ups to get a date with Gabby. So, that's true. So she talked briefly about scheduling the Getting Started Right call. And I believe the Getting Started Right call is very important. You know, you can do one-on-one, you can do them on the phone, you can do them on video. I feel that Zoom is the best way. And we do ours on Zoom, that way you can get to know them, get them out of their comfort zone from day one, or a couple days into their coaching journey at least, and have them begin to share their story and ask them questions and get comfortable talking about that. So, with that being said, in the getting started right, let's talk about what to do on that. And you can take a photo of the slide that's up there, so you don't have to write notes too fast. But what we're going to do is, and Saudi will talk about this on the next slide, is we're going to review the business quick start with our brand new coaches, and she'll talk about what's important in that. You're going to ask them, this is what I believe is the best and most important part of that getting started right call. You need to ask them what their personal why is. What's their reason for doing this business? And no one will build this business for a car. It's got to be something deeper. So if they give you something that's surface level, work on digging into that. It's uncomfortable at first. I remember asking some of my friends some deep questions, and I'm not that person. At least I wasn't before. So just ask them. A good question I use to get into that why is, remember, the reason that Lindsay got me to take action and to be disciplined was I was really focused on my why, what that was that I wanted, which was bringing my wife home. So that was worth doing anything, that she told me to do. I was willing to be disciplined in those activities for that end result. So if you can't find out what their why is, or they're not giving it to you, a question I like to ask is, ask them, whether it's a mother or father, ask them what they're afraid of. What do you worry when you lay in bed and you can't sleep at night? What's on your mind? What are you anxious about? What are you scared about? And a lot of times it's going to bring up finances, or my kids are growing up, or I never see them, or we don't have a good relationship. And Beachbody is going to help with all those things. So find out what it is that they need and get them real focused on that why. And that's going to help them be disciplined once you give them some call to actions coming out of the getting started right call. So another important thing is, remember, facts tell, stories sell. Obviously, take note. That's why I shared a story at the beginning, so you guys can be connected on that level. I'm always connecting people with stories, and so what that does is it increases their belief in themselves. So that's why it's so important to listen to national wake-up calls, that you listen to your team calls, or listen to team calls on YouTube, or whatever it is you do, because that way you're going to learn stories that you can relate with your new coaches as they come on. Because I can't relate with everybody with my story. My story doesn't relate with many of you guys in there as well. So you need to learn stories of other people that have been successful in different areas of Beachbody, so you can relate that to that new coach. And then explain briefly what it means to be in a challenge group, to start running a challenge group, how that works, the importance of, like Carl says, making sure people get results with our programs, because that's first and foremost the most important thing, is that we have results with these programs. So explain the importance of that. Explain what Success Club is, how important it is. Remember, your brand new coach doesn't know if Success Club 5 is hard or not, or if 10 is the standard or not the standard. So you get to set that standard for yourself and your brand new coach as you get them started. I just say, hey, it's just 3 people. You just got to find 3 people to help get started in this first month with the challenge pack. And then the next thing is to make sure that you know where to go in the Coach Online office for their training. There's the Coach Training Academy, there's the Getting Started Right tab. The new stuff is awesome. There's the Getting Started Right, the Emerald Coach tab. So get them into that, training. There's the Leadership Ladder, get them into seeing what they're supposed to be doing at that level, and then teaching them that. And you guys know, each of you guys know, there's so many materials and trainings out there that, I always tell my coaches in this call that they have all of the training that they need to be successful in this business. There's all the resources you need, even on Google or YouTube. And then on top of that, Beachbody's got like the best training system available. So I tell them there's all these resources, but you have to be resourceful with what you have and apply it to your business and find where you're lacking and then add that to it. So we have some more stats here. Everybody loves stats. Stats motivate me because I'm like, oh, if I do this, there's the end result. So coaches who make it into the Success Starter program do not turn into a rooster, but they earn 106 times more than those who do not. So, that's an amazing thing, because you get them into Success Starter in the first month, they get a call with Carl Deichler, but they're also going to earn 106 times more than those that don't hit Success Starter. So I'll let you go next, talk about the quick start.
Thank you, Scotty. And by the way, that slide that Scotty just shared with the stats, if you're not using that with your clients, coaches, your people you're bringing into your team, I highly recommend that you do, because I did, and I have had at least 2 people getting Success Starters more than I was before, just by saying those stats. So the business quick start, this is where I know, because I'm guilty of it, a lot of people skip. And I did it a lot. And it wasn't until I confessed with my regional back then before the amazing Kim came along. And I said, I just really don't like it. I hate it. It's too many questions. And he said, okay, so I thought he was going to get mad at me. He says, okay, so why don't you make it come alive? And I was all over it. Like, I didn't even let him finish speaking. I was like, I could do that. I made it come alive. I literally did. So when I do this, first of all, law of attraction, I lie to myself and I say that I love it. Then I share stories. So the first top part is your opportunity to share story. And if you're really a baby coach and you're not even an emerald yet, which I don't think there's that many here, I think most of you are emerald and above, you have a story. So write that story down, not right now, but later when you leave and you're in your room. Talk about how Shakeology changed your life and how you felt after you started. It could be after you started your first challenge group, whatever point you are in your business, you have a story. Everybody has a story. Then I want you to go into your back office and I want you to check who is your diamond and who is your star diamond and find out their story. Like Scottie said, collect stories. I happen to be all three for most of the people that come into my business. It wasn't always the case. When I didn't have such a huge story, which I thought I didn't because we all feed that to ourselves, I would share other people's stories. I remember sharing your story, Scottie. I actually got a few guys to sign up because of your story. And I got really good at sharing Scottie's story. And I also shared things that I know can relate to the person. You become a chameleon. You learn to adapt to people. So if I'm talking to a mom who, is working, 9 to 5 and has a mortgage, right off the bat, I am going to share my first baby story. And that was that when I first became a coach, I was working for the school board of Broward County in Florida, and I was on a contract. Made a little less than a teacher, which was nothing, and I didn't have enough money to be able to provide sports and activities and extracurriculum for my kids. So when I was able, when my husband comes home one day and says, oh, I just enrolled Jeremy in Kung Fu, and it was like $170, like 100 and what? And we didn't have that kind of room. So when I shared that with a mom who's a discount coach, right away, you disarm the person and they're open to continuing the document with you. And this is the part that we skip. You cannot skip that. You should be sharing stories with people the entire time that you're forming them before you bring them in to when you get to this, because this is where you seal the deal. And then you move through. I'm not going to go over each step. You should all know what's on this document. You should all go back and do it with your coaches. And today is a good day to message your coaches or your brand new coaches or people who have been on your team for a very long time that you haven't done this with, and just do it. Just do it. It's okay to mess up. I mess up all the time. I still mess up, and I always tell my team when I mess up. And I call this the sweet spot in my business because there was a time when my business wasn't moving forward. And at the time I was living in Florida, and I came to New York for a Super Saturday, and I scheduled a Getting Started Right with my coaches who have been on board for like 2 years. And we sat on the floor after Super Saturday, and we did a Getting Started Right, and it changed our business. So do it. Focus on the important activities that are on the back. What I like about these activities is that this is your opportunity to reverse engineer the business with a coach. This is where you set important goals, and then you go after them. If you don't do this with your new coaches, they don't know what to do. You can't expect them to know. They don't even know what the word reverse engineer means.
Awesome. Okay, so after this, we need to talk about the follow-up. Just like we talked about with dating, it's important to follow up to get things through, moving along at the pace that you want to be. So, we do that a lot with getting someone into a challenge pack or a challenge group or getting a coach signed up and follow up. And I've fallen guilty to this one as well, where you forget to follow up sometimes after they're a coach. You're just like, okay, I did it, now it's your turn, here's all the tools, let's go do it. So it's important that you follow up just like before when you're getting them into your challenge group or getting them to become a coach on your team. So after that initial email is sent out, like a welcome email that like Scottie went through, it's important to send a follow-up email, ask them how they're feeling. I ask, how are you feeling? Have you got through the Coach Training Academy yet? Have you done XYZ task? And it depends on the tasks that you put in your welcome email. just follow up with those and see if they've done those things yet. And then, like an actual task that I do, for example, is when we're doing, I'll talk about in here about the Zoom chats that we do with our coaches, is we'll do a coach opportunity meeting every 2 weeks. We call it What is Beachbody Coaching? So we can do something like give them a task like, hey, let's see if we can get 50 no's first to invite them into this, to listen to this webinar on Thursday or this Zoom call. So give them a task, something easy to do, because it is overwhelming in the beginning to see all this stuff. And so give them some actionable steps that involve the 3 vital behaviors, the invite process, specifically right there. So after that, we do, with our team, we do a Zoom chat with the new coaches ours right now are Tuesday nights at 6:45. So we do that every week. And I love that because you get to build the relationships more, and I see them here. So it's making me comfortable up here speaking because I put the little Zoom boxes around them right here. And it just feels like I'm doing what I do every Tuesday night. But that's an important time for you to follow up, get to know them a little bit better, see what they're going through, see how they're feeling. And what I have them do is I have them share their story, get them practicing sharing their story, because like when you guys live from here, people think, what's that Beachbody thing? And the majority of you guys will say, oh, it's a Beachbody coach thing, we did some workouts. And that you just lost an opportunity to invite somebody. So we're helping them learn how to tell their story. Like I told the story about the day I got signed up as a coach. So we're helping them develop that story in those Zoom chats, giving them confidence in sharing about who they are. And then in that time as well, something that you get to do is help them realize that they're not failing when people are ignoring their messages. Ask them, how are your invites going? What are people saying? And we do that in our Coach Basics, which we'll talk about shortly. But I just, let them know that it's not failing. That I get people that ignore me as well. I get people that say they're going to buy it, you send them the link, and then you never hear from them again. Like in some mysterious island we don't know about, hiding somewhere. And they come back around later. So I help them realize that process of planting and watering and harvesting. And that helps them feel more comfortable. Basically teaching them like the definition of success is going from one failure to the next without losing enthusiasm. So, like Stephanie said, she was inspired by my story at first. We started at the same time. I was not successful in Beachbody. It was how I held myself.
And I
was enthusiastic.
I really didn't care. I was inspired by the things that you were doing to move your business forward with the obstacles that kept coming in your way, because that's what happens most to coaches. Something happens and then we forget about that dream and that goal.
Yeah. So it's important to stay enthusiastic, stay excited, and realize that you're not failing when people don't follow through right away. I think back, it helps me to have that mindset, because I think back when I first was invited to be a coach by Lindsay, she was a coach for 3 months. But I thought she was like the first one ever signed up. And she was only 3 months into the business, but she was talking about her team and what she wanted to accomplish with it. And I'm like, well, I want to do that kind of stuff. So I thought it was the way she held herself. It wasn't any sort of success. So I think about that as I talk to everybody about it. If they're not ready, just like I wasn't, it took me 8 months till the day I signed up. So I help them help the new coaches understand that process. The next thing that comes after that is making sure that they get connected to training. So, like I said before, Beachbody has the best training system ever. We got Coach Basics. I made 60 Coach Basic videos, but all I did was go into the Coach online office to the training. There's 60 Coach Basics videos. All I did was read it and then put my cell phone up and just said what it said. And I made my own videos so my coaches could relate to that. So there's the best training out there with the Coach Basics. The cool thing about training and what training does, it makes your team duplicatable. Because of the amazing leaders that we have on our team, we now have 32,000 coaches in our team. And that's not because of just me, that's because of duplication. And coach training groups and systems is what makes your business duplicatable, what makes you duplicatable throughout your organization and your team. So, like I said before, the Zoom calls, it helps them get in the sharing mode, get comfortable talking about their story and what they're doing with their story. And what it does is, and I mentioned this in the slide before, is you can get them into productive activities. Even if you're an hour coach, I think you should be doing coach opportunity meetings. You should be introducing people, telling people your story on video, on Google Hangout, and on YouTube, and inviting your coaches to invite their friends to learn about what Team Beachbody is. So if you're doing that, then you can have your coaches plug into that, invite people to that, get them into that activity of inviting people. In this time as well, we're introducing them into accountability partners, let's say, 2 brand new coaches, get them connected and let them know that they can run a challenge group together. They don't have to do a challenge group all by themselves and try to figure it out. So in the coach training and our coach basics and in these weekly Zoom chats, we can pair people up and get them working together through that. And one of the things that I think helps build a great business where you can help develop great leaders, and that's what we want, right? High performing coaches, is what Coach Basics does for me in running that group. I run a new group the first Monday of every single month. That's just the standard that we've set, so our coaches know there's a new group at the start of every month. And if one coach didn't participate, because we know that happens, I tell them, okay, the next one is next month, you can start again next month if you need to. But what that does for me is I get to see who shows up. And that helps me find and develop the rock stars, the ones that show up, add value, make the invites. That's success. It's not necessarily how many success club points, what their rank is, it's the activity and the belief and the ability to show up continually. And that's how I develop or find my rock stars. And I got another slide for you. Okay, 78% of new coaches who get into a Coach Basics program earn over $100 in their first month. Right? If that gets them their Shakeology paid for in the first month. And that increases their confidence that they can do this. And then they'll begin to set the next goal for themselves. 48% earn Success Starter, which is, they hit Success Club 5 the first 2 months. And then 64% advance to Emerald rank in the first 2 months. So how many of you guys, by the way, raise your hands, would like to have 64% of your first 6 months of coaches at Emerald? That's a good number. So that's going to be an important. So those are the stats from people that participate in Coach Basics.
Awesome stuff. So it doesn't stop the Coach Basics, guys. This is where the party begins. So how many of you want to create a badass team? A strong, solid team, right? I know I do. I have some badasses, but I want some more. So what do you do after that? What do you do with your team? You don't just let it go. To develop rock stars, remember, you get the oxygen mask first. You have to be doing all the things that we just shared here, and you have to keep getting better and better at it. Because what makes you better at hitting Success Club is practice. It's not how great you are on social media or how many people you know. Those, numbers don't lie. But it's that commitment and that consistency of doing it over and over and over again where you get good and confident and you build your belief system. So many of you active coaches will focus on running challenge groups to hit Success Club. Small minority of the coaches will go on to build big teams, badass teams. Why? The job is to find those coaches who want to build. Scottie just shared that he runs those business opportunity goals. I'm guilty of not being consistent with that. And I told my success partner in one of the sessions today, we're doing what I'm Monday. Not let's do one or let's plan one, we're doing one. And we're going to do it every Monday until we get to where we want to get, and that is 15,000 coaches really quickly. I think we are close. All right, so you're running into the least change lines. You're running your challenge groups, you're helping 3 to 5 people. You're striving to hit Success Club, and that's 3 people minimum, you all know that. You shoot for Success Club 10, you hit Success Club 5 at minimum. You enroll 3 to 5 coaches. Drill it in your heads. I say this probably like 10 times a day to my coaches. Over and over and over again, because I want it to sink in. And as I'm teaching it to them, I'm also doing it myself. The more you say and practice, the more you're going to do. So this one's fun. Celebrate everything. Everything. I mean, you should be celebrating that you're here. You should be celebrating if you went to that Stars and Stripes party. I was at that Stars and Stripes party and I was dying of heat with my phone because I had to post how excited and happy I was that I was there with my team. That is recognition and encouragement because I have coaches there who made that and worked really hard for that. You share that. You celebrate first challenge pack sales. You celebrate when your team racket runs and make them really pretty. Nice colors. Make it relatable to them, what they like. Look at their page and see what colors they like. See if they like bling. I love bling, so my brother better get good at recognitions. I love bling. He's getting good at it. So Success starters, that's important because what's gonna happen, remember we said that it's the law of attraction, so if your coaches watch what you do. So if you're celebrating people hitting success starters on your team, what do you think your team's gonna do? They're gonna wanna know how you're doing it, and they're gonna go and do it too. Right? I tell my coaches all the time, did you see I had one more success starters? Yeah! Why do you think I do that? So they could go do it too. And make it pretty. I can't see that, but we celebrate everything. I think that's Coach I hit 4-star or something. Oh no, these are our monthly Success Club earners. This is really cool, and most of us do it with our logo and everything. It's really nice, and some of us do it with pictures. This is someone who advanced to diamond. And this is a good way to brand yourself, because if people are on your wall, another thing, you want to make sure you're putting this on your wall, because if you're putting it on your team page, it's great, you're inspiring your team, but who you really want to inspire is people out there who are seeing you become successful. So I post every recognition, every celebration on my wall, and I tag the coach. I've never gotten in trouble for it, so I guess it's fine. That girl finished, she's one of my coaches, she finished the 21-day fix, and if you saw the slide before, she also hit success stars. Do you see the connection? 3 vital behaviors, it works.
Absolutely.
Oh wait, wasn't that yours?
No, that's yours.
Oh,
You got it. Especially since she's one of your coaches.
Yeah.
So I think about recognition. You know, the number one thing that people want in life is it's like some stat I heard is they want to matter. So when you're recognizing their success, whether it's 1-inch loss or their first challenge back sale, their first help with somebody in their transformation or in their business, when you recognize that helps them feel like they matter. And I know that's what happened when Lindsay would give me a shout out. I felt like I had some significance in this thing that I was doing, this Beachbody thing. So it really helped me gain that confidence in myself. So this is going to be this wasn't planned. So is there a brand new coach in the front row somewhere? Can you raise your hand? Can you come up here real fast? There's a stair right here. Okay, run up here. So as I close this out and she's walking up here, I'm going to talk about, just kind of recap. You know, at the beginning we started about developing a mindset, setting the bar high, and then some specific steps with the GSR, the quick start, and whatnot. So what I want to share here is, you know, we talk about developing a mindset in yourself as you start this business. I'm going to ask, what's your name? Lasagna? Nice to meet you, Latanya. Okay, Latanya is up here with me, and how long have you been a coach? 1 month and 2 weeks.
Wow.
So this is how you get the mindset to go out into your business as you leave Summit. You're going to leave here, you're going to have new goals, a new vision, and you're going to start your business. And each one of you guys can think this. So I'm up here, Stephanie's up here, you know, we got our recognition from Kim about the stats that have happened over the last 4 years. You know, being a lead coach or being $1 million earner, and here you are, a coach has won at 1 month, right? Here's a unique thing. You have a unique story that you can connect to people in here that I can't. I have a story maybe I can connect that you can't. But here's the thing. We have the same Beachbody products. We have the same new product releases, the same advertising, the same coach training with the coach basics. We just have different stories that we can connect with people. And the thing is even though you're brand new for a month, and I've been doing this for 4 years, is that if you get up here and share your story with confidence, make that your message to the world, and that's for each and every one of you guys, if you can do that, you know, and you do that with confidence and with the attitude of this is my goal, this is my vision, this is why I'm doing it. We have, you know, the same challenge groups, the same opportunity to give people. If you can do that with that confidence and that belief, no one would know if she's the brand new coach or me if we do it with the same confidence up here. So that's what I want you guys to know, is the way that you hold yourself, how confident you are. Just know that you have the training and all the tools to go out there and just share your story and connect with those people, and then just give them the tools and the training that'll help them. So thank you, and I'm excited to see you teach on stage one day. And so thank you. So as we go away, I want you guys to remember, develop that mindset, that belief in yourself, and then just to recap, you know, the steps. First, you know, get them started right, send the welcome email out, do your quick start, go through your getting started right call, get on the phone, make that personal connection with them, follow up, connect them to their training, identify and develop your rock stars, and then celebrate everything. Celebrate everything that you're going through. And there's one takeaway I want you guys to do as you go away from here is each one of you guys, like we shared up here, develop that mindset for yourself. But I want you guys to each get into a Coach Basics group, or start a Coach Basics group on August 3rd. Get together with, if you only have one coach, that's okay. Team up with somebody, grab someone next to you, get each other's number, run a group together. Yeah, get with someone next to you, get their number, team up, run a Coach Basics on August 3rd. Heck, recruit 3 coaches to join your team by that time, get them into that group. And then also register your team for the Team Cup. And we just want to say thank you for being here and thanks for letting us share with you guys today.
Thank you.
All right. One more big round of applause for